Hi guys, so today's video is going to be the funnest days of my life. So let's get to it. So I think the funnest day I've had in my life was when I was homeschooled, and I was a visual learner. I learned by seeing things and experiencing them. At this time when I was homeschooled, I lived in the basement of my grandfather's house. And he would always, like, take me and my mom, if we had a field trip planned, he would always go with the field trips with us. Like, we would go to, like, the local caves in Kentucky and Indiana, and just go to the caves and explore the caves as a tour and everything. And then there was another time, it was me, my dad, my mom, and my grandpa. We all went to Perryville Battlefield, which is also, it's in Kentucky as well. And we kind of went to the Civil War kind of place, because it was the Civil War battlefield. And it was funny because, like, at the time when I was homeschooled, I was learning about the Civil War, and just knowing that we had a battlefield that close in Kentucky that I could go to was really cool. But, like, what people don't know is, like, Perryville, Kentucky was actually the turning point in the Civil War. Basically, the only kind of, like, really the war was going on between them was they were fighting over a well of water. So Perryville was really cool. Then there was this one time where, since it goes along with the Civil War, like, one time in homeschool, I was learning about Abraham Lincoln, and, like, my parents, my mom and my dad decided that they were going to take me to Hodgensville, Kentucky to go to Lincoln's birthplace. And that was really, like, that was a real, kind of like a real experience, because, like, Lincoln was just one of my favorite presidents in history. As you can tell, I am a big history buff, so that's all. But then there was one time when I was a kid that I lived with her, like, as I mentioned before, I lived with my grandpa in his basement, my family. It wasn't just me. But, like, my grandpa would go to all our field trips anyways, and, like, by the time I was old enough to go into school, once I was in 5th grade, I didn't have as much field trips, but we did have some. But by the time I moved out to the Brandenburg, Kentucky, we went to even more caves in Kentucky and Indiana, like Squire Boone. And then, because we lived in Brandenburg and my grandpa lived in Louisville, he would come over to our house and take us to, like, to Indiana as well. And I remember one other time, like, we went to Huber's farm for my birthday, which my birthday is in November. So it's during the fall, and we were getting apples because also in November you have Thanksgiving, and me and Mom, we kind of like to bake. So Thanksgiving we get apples from Huber's. So on my birthday, he would take me to the restaurant, and we would get apples and also eat at Huber's farm and restaurant. So he really was a good grandpa. And then we then I started to grow up a little bit more, and he started getting a little bit older. By the time I was a senior in high school, and I was not homeschooled by then, I was actually in public schools by then, here in Brandenburg, Kentucky. And once I started getting older and I was more involved in other things, my grandpa always tried to support me. But as I got older and as I got into my senior year, he was starting to get a little bit older. He was getting older himself, so he wasn't be able to do as fun of stuff that we did when I was younger, when I was a kid. But I remember senior year of high school, and in 2011 was the year I graduated from high school. I remember my grandpa was there, and he was proud of me. He knew that I struggled in school, but he also knew that I was more of a visual learner. That's why we did so many field trips when I was younger. And up until today, I still kind of like to look back at that, because my grandpa, I loved. He was a fun grandpa. And if I had to do everything again, I would hug and kiss him, because I never did that as a kid. And I never did that because, I don't know, I had anger problems, and I just can't. But he, I knew he knew I loved him. I'm sorry, guys, that I'm tearing up right now. But I just want to tell everybody that if you are a younger viewer and you still have your grandparents, tell them that you love them every single day. And if you don't, and you're about my age, then tell them that you love them still. Because if I would have had both my grandparents now, I would tell them. And and oh my gosh, I didn't really mean to start crying, but for you guys that don't know, is my grandpa died 2 years ago in January. So, and there's not a day that it goes by that I do not miss him. And you can still technically say that I'm grieving, because he was the first person I saw that had ever died in front of me. But I just want to tell you that if you do still have grandparents, just tell them you love them. And if you don't, then just tell them that you love them anyways. That's really what all today's video is going to be about. So, if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified when I make a new video, hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And leave a comment down below on what your funnest day was. And also leave a comment down below on what you think my next video should be. I love you guys. Bye.